I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, calling the meeting to order.
Yeah, they say you could.
Smithfield Township Environmental Advisory Committee meeting, August 15th.
What's a quorum with this group? 3, 4.
We're moving up here, it's easier to communicate.
Where's the 4th?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Robert has to sit aside for.
Robert isn't, well, we,
Is Robert
Robert.
an EAC member?
So could you,
Yeah.
for us in the audience, could you tell us what happened to the people that used to be up there?
members present, James, do you wanna just,
Members present are Ken LaShore, Mitch, myself, we're missing Eric, and we have Alex Johnson, PhD, and we have our illustrious leader, our supervisor,
Right, but
What about Pat Owens?
you forgot Pat.
Pat. Pat, from what I've been told, she's
In the hospital. Is
She's
that
at-
correct, Robert?
having some issues.
yeah, we should just have it, we'll just leave it at that, Pat.
Right.
We'll probably not.
Person.
Sure, probably
My
not.
question was, does Robert count as a member of the EAC?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
we have a forum.
yeah, so Pat will not likely be returning. Just so you all know, so Pat is absent. There's one vacancy,
And Eric is not here.
Eric's absent.
So, do we have a vice chair here or not?
We have a chair.
Well, Brett was vice chair, but nobody's
Brett
on.
is resigned. So I guess we need another vice chair, right?
Well, part of the agenda is appointing the chair.
Right. Election of officers.
Election of officers, yep.
Do we have paper agendas today?
It's in your binder,
I always forget to open the binder. Thank you.
Robert, you also have your binder.
Well, okay, so
So we have Robert, Mitch, Ken, James, self,
well. No. Same thing I got. We've got an elected officer, I'm not sure if it takes nominations though. Alex, maybe it's you, you're the advisor here.
It's up to the group, you know, we should elect a vice chair. You know, for the time being, until we get new members. Until the supervisors appoint a new chair and or,
How about a vice chair pro tem? For now, I think that might be the temporary term for it.
just someone who's willing to lead the agenda. I can't make a nomination, but if there's anyone in the group that would like to volunteer. That would be ideal, so that we can conduct business.
Should I be
Some
there?
people are looking at me, I'll do it if I can
You
do
can
it.
do it? Great.
Right, as long as I don't have, it's not a permanent thing, it's involve 50 hours a week of work, you know, that sort of thing. I'm kidding, of course.
the other chair pro tem. Okay,
Oh, well, no, this is an election, we have to have
Yeah.
make it formalize it. I was
So I'll have
doing,
to nominate Ken.
I nominate Ken.
Second.
The second.
And then you have to vote on it.
Oh,
We have a vote?
aye.
Aye. Okay,
Congratulations, Mr.
Right.
Vice Chairman,
well,
pro temp.
thank you.
So does he take over at this point?
Yeah, he takes over and leads you through the agenda.
Oh, I do, already?
yeah,
I'll be darned, okay,
Gotta go to work.
all right.
move.
Now, I remind folks, we're gonna move.
Yep.
Okay. I haven't done this sort of thing in a long time. And I was once president of the school board.
It's impressive.
A long time ago.
And you survived.
Barely, I'll tell you. We had meetings in gymnasiums with angry parents shouting and all that.
Yeah.
And see where we are here. So we have elected a vice chair and, let's see, announcements. Alex, I may need some help with some of these items here.
Sure.
Vacancy on the Environmental Advisory Council. We sort of informally talked about that already. At this point, we are accepting letters of interest. Have we received any letters of interest?
We got one letter of interest formally, another person has expressed interest, and I've talked about those individuals, but of course, anybody who is interested in joining the EAC, who's passionate about Smithfield Township, should submit a letter before the upcoming supervisor meeting on the 26th of August.
Did everyone in the audience hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're interested in joining the council as this would be for the vacancy and potentially, and this will come up later in the meeting, we are also looking for alternates on the committee. Yes, and I do believe we did pass,
Well, we recommended to.
we recommended to the
We
supervisor.
need the feedback from the
That's
supervisor.
correct, so we can't move on that yet.
Accepted that.
Right, okay, so we are up to date on that. Anything to add to that, the letters issue?
Well, since the last announcement, our chairman is otherwise probably not gonna return for a while. So in practice, we're looking for two people.
Okay. All right, well, I guess we should hold off on that discussion until we find out what the supervisors will accept or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's highly likely we'll be looking for two people is what I'm trying to say, so that, the more the merrier at this point. I just want to put it out there.
Right.
Without
Okay.
getting into unnecessary.
And those individuals will be appointed by the supervisor, correct?
And just for the audience to know that, we have decided, we do have the flexibility of deciding how big the council can be or not be, and we settled on the number of 7 members and 2 alternates. So we would have a full number of 9, assuming the supervisors approve of the alternate situation. So, okay, I think we can move ahead to the Rivers Edge Bike Park public meeting, which is scheduled for Wednesday, August 27th at 6 p.m. So that's in 2 weeks from tonight. Is that correct? Or is that 3 weeks? 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Anything more to say to that, Alex?
We're just announcing it so everyone knows. It's not directly related to the EAC, but we're just putting it out there so anyone who's watching on the news knows that on the 27th, there is a Rivers Edge public meeting. The majority of the supervisors will be there, and it's part of the master site development plan, which
Right.
you're well familiar with.
Right, and as I understand it, this will be a presentation of a final plan for approval.
Correct.
Right, so it's an important meeting. And having served on the committee to redevelop the park, I can say that it's long overdue what the plan is. I won't comment anymore on that, but it'll be exciting to see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, we need to turn to our minutes, So from our last meeting, which was held on July 2nd, do I have a motion to approve the meetings as the meeting minutes as submitted?
The approval.
Okay, I hear approval, I hear a submit, what would
Make a second. I second the motion. I would like to have a little discussion.
Well,
on
of
that.
course, okay, so, who,
So Mitch, so you have a motion and a second now, there's discussion.
But
okay, so we know who made the motion and who made the second. All right, just wanted to make sure that the record is good. All right, yeah, so, discussion, so any comments, from you guys?
well, the only comment I have is that at most of our meetings in the area where we discuss public comments, there are issues that are brought to our attention. And at the last meeting, there were a couple of them that were brought up. One of them was about fireworks. One of them was about noise. And I think that they are mentioned in the minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, page 3 of 4 from July 15th, you'll see the public
That's
comment.
correct. but nothing seems to happen when those things are brought up.
Well, may I comment?
It's a discussion.
Well, remember that particular discussion involving fireworks and noise,
Right,
those are ordinances. And we don't have enforcement power over ordinances, and neither does the township. Only no, we do have, I'm sorry, the only enforcement power that exists over ordinances are zoning laws. The police can't do anything about it. I know from personal experience, you call the police about noise, you're not, they'll say they enforce the laws, not the ordinances.
right.
And that's a huge difference. And we were understaffed for years in terms of enforcing ordinances, but hopefully that situation has improved. But it's not our business to really even consider ordinance violations, as I understand it. Our job is to recommend any possible municipal actions that will protect the environment and improve the environment.
And along with that, Mitch, a lot of the comments that come up here are from people that don't understand that we do have ordinances on the books about it, and that we do have a complaint system where you can write out a complaint and write to the zoning officer, and that it will be acted on. So it's not like the old days. I mean, things are getting done.
Well, take the fireworks ordinance. It hasn't been updated, or that was the comment, had not been updated since Pennsylvania legalized fireworks sales.
We have an ordinance against setting off fireworks. And in fact, the only way I think you can set them off in the township is if you have a special event permit to do it.
Like,
That, not that that stops people on the 4th of July, and we have to have some leeway of looking the other way and saying, let's get through this night. But other times we try to enforce
so
it.
your opinion is that the ordinance is fine the way it is?
It's what?
It's fine the way it is.
Well,
It doesn't
I
need to
think
be
it- I think it-
reviewed or updated or,
I think it's good and it's effective when it's enforced. And what we've had as a problem, as you know, over the years is lack of enforcement. Well, now we have a different system. And part of it is everyone has to fill out a complaint, because as soon as we have that form, it's put into the system. The zoning officer has, he's gotta act on it, and we can go in and see what the status of it is and what he did. Whether we find someone, whether we warned them, what happened, how many times they've done it, whether we're back at the same place, or, we'll issue fines.
okay, so I'm really having this discussion from my point of view on the part of the public. Because I would like to see the public be able to get some feedback as to the issues that they bring up. There are several ways that, that could happen. One is if we have a stack of those complaint forms sitting right here. Something comes up, we give it to the person who brings up the issue and they fill it out and get it to the supervisors.
Or we can have them out there on the counter outside,
I'm sorry?
or we can have them by the counter right out here.
Yeah, I didn't mean, wherever, yes, yeah, right.
They're a single piece of paper. They're very simple to fill out, the basic form, and you could add to them any documentation that you may have to support your
Mitch,
claim.
I've just been corrected by Jacob, who pointed out that we don't have a fireworks ordinance. It comes under our noise ordinance. So, much of regulating fireworks, we were preempted by probably other rules. I'm not sure if they're state police and the Commonwealth, but under our noise ordinance, it's certainly one of those things. Is a noise issue which we can regulate because we do have that ordinance now. So I stand corrected.
Well, and there's the
And we're glad that
enforcement.
Jacob is watching.
Well, that's another thing. I've had some experience with this, and fortunately, we have an all new zoning office department that's, the supervisors that subcontracted the job out. We did not have enforcement, professional enforcement officer for years. And it was a big backlog of complaints, as I understand it. And that's one reason why things just didn't get.
So things should improve.
They already have, as I understand. Isn't that correct,
I-
Robert?
I agree.
He's busy, so.
So my only point is, I think it would be a really good idea to have a stack of those forms, wherever you wanna put. That people that bring issues up as environmental concerns in Smithfield Township. Have a way of getting those documented and. To the attention of the supervisors
And in the system,
and in the system.
there we go.
That's correct. I think that would be a really nice improvement that we can make here at this meeting.
Well, I don't think we need a motion for this. It's just a matter of paperwork, basically, right? When you say, Alex,
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we can print a bunch and put them out on the front table. And then people can pick them up.
If you can just put that on your little action item list that you keep some. I think that'd be a great idea.
I agree. So, all right, I think we can move on
We're
from
gonna
that.
vote on the minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
To vote on the minute approval.
Are we gonna vote it? Oh, does this need a vote? Okay, we need a motion then.
We have a
have the
motion.
motion, have a motion on the table.
Second, do I hear a second?
We have a second,
You're good.
we just need
Just the roll call vote, all in favor.
All in favor? Aye.
aye.
All righty, sounds good. So, that was part of the minutes. Any other, discussion of the minutes from the last meeting? Okay. All right, all those in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, Joe?
Aye.
Okay, I think we've done that item.
There are two sets of minutes. But we voted on both of them at the same time.
Yeah, we just did,
Okay,
so they both.
July 2nd and.
Oh, that's right, there are two sets,
So we'll
so,
get them uploaded on the website as soon as they're sent.
okay, let's see now, back to the agenda here. Back to the agenda here, new business. First, we want to discuss a recommendation on the data center ordinance update. Alan, can you give us some big, info about that?
Sure, I can give you some information. So everyone here has received a copy of the draft ordinance. Which proposes updated standards and criteria for the use of data centers, data center accessory uses and disaster recovery facilities. This would be an update to your zoning ordinance. This has been discussed at multiple supervisor meetings at this point, and it's been sent to the planning commission for their review, and then as part of the advisory capacity of this group. It's up to you if you'd like to send a letter of recommendation to the board. I would recommend going through the ordinance, since it is a lot of work, and I think it's a good policy decision, and it'll also help you produce an informed recommendation of the supervisors.
I see the ordinance is written in a lot of legalese, so how detailed do we want to go through this?
I mean, if you just kind of go through page by page, it's, like a typical ordinance, it starts with definitions, and then it explains how data centers would be a data center, accessory uses, et cetera, would be conditional use now in the ED zone as opposed to permitted use, and it stays a permitted use in the industrial zone. So that would be one of the changes. And then it goes on to delineate all the standards for this use. So if somebody comes in and their property and they want to build a data center, they will have to meet all this criteria in order to do it in the township. This is an update a lot of townships in the county are working on currently. So like Chestnut Hill Township, Jackson Township, a number of other townships are working on this currently. So this is, we're very much doing the right thing here, in my opinion.
Well, I think it's generally speaking, it's a hot topic.
I'd like
This
to-
is right now.
I'd like to make a motion
Do
that
you wanna
that we review the ordinance for the data center. And then at our next meeting, then we can make our recommendation to send it up to the township
is that like a
supervisor.
motion to table?
That's what I was thinking. I'm hearing table.
I'm hearing we should do a little review.
Yeah, okay.
While we're at it,
I
and then
if you're talking about reviewing this, I reviewed it when I got it, so.
we
Well,
got it, I got it today, so.
I did not read it thoroughly, so maybe it would be a good idea to do so, and
Just,
not only
just,
that,
just a comment.
Yeah.
Eric's not here also, so.
Okay, just from my perspective, my perception of this ordinance is that it is making it more difficult within Smithfield Township.
But you can speak up a little, you're doing, what,
Pardon me?
can you speak up a little, you're doing?
Yeah.
Or usually I have that problem. That it's making it more difficult to get approval for a data center within Smithfield Township. And it's moving only to the industrial area as permitted, makes it conditional use in the environmental, in the ED, right? So that in itself makes it a little bit more restrictive. And then when you look at all of the requirements that someone would have to go through for power, electricity, water, noise, and all of those details, it makes it, in my opinion, very difficult to get approval for a data center in Smithfield Township.
Well,
No.
that just tells me I wanna read this more thoroughly.
Right,
I think you should take a look at it. I mean, I reviewed it. I'll hold my comments until we talk about it. But I thought it was vastly moving forward from where we were.
absolutely.
Well,
Talk about it.
A comment, the president just made a remark today because Apple is building a huge data center. I don't know where, but wherever they are, but also the Fed apportioned $92.5 billion to Pennsylvania for Pennsylvania data centers. And one of the key factors is that they suck up a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
They suck up a lot of electricity.
Yeah.
And he proposed, and it's been mentioned, that they want these data centers to bring their own power to their data centers, so they don't tax our grid. Okay, and that's probably one of the big things that's in this.
Well, General Electric, I think, is working on small nuclear power plants to do just that.
Correct.
I know in the case of the one possibility in Smithfield is being explored now, which is at Gateway. There's I think a $250,000 study that's being done by the power companies to see if they do have enough power and they can handle it. Until we get there, we really don't know what the story is.
Correct, because it's a lot of electricity, but it's a great opportunity.
Well, I have a bigger question than that, I think. I wanna know who needs data centers and for what reason.
What?
I wanna know who needs data centers and for what reasons. That's what I wanna know.
That's cool.
Because I'm sick of watching warehouses go up and they seem to go up overnight. We don't know who builds them. Some of them, I understand, are going up without tenants, waiting for someone to rent them. So they don't even have a purpose when they're built. So I'm concerned about that.
I agree with you about warehouses. In fact, I'm very happy we dodged the bullet on that by not approving any that were offered to us here, and we could do it because the zoning was wrong. And I agree completely. They have been overbuilt and they're gonna sit there as white elephants because the cost of demolition is so high that you can't get rid of them. And what I've suggested, I think may be incorporated in here, or we may have other rules or laws that mandate it, is that there's an escrow account that goes with the building of these things. It says that if at some point they're abandoned, they have to be taken down, and the escrow is there to do it.
Yeah, and another thing, one thing that the EA.
Can I just comment on what he said? It does say there has to be a decommissioning agreement. But my question was, does that mean that there is money in an escrow account? if that's what the requirement is, I think that's very good, because these companies could go out of business, they're bankrupt. And if there's no money set aside for decommissioning, then the township or the county is.
That's been my point and the point of others. I don't know if it's in this or if it's in another document that we have, but certainly we have to cover the cost of demolition if these things are abandoned.
Well, I would like to see.
Alex, do you know where that is?
Well, on page 11, it says that a
Okay.
decommissioning agreement will be required to be executed between the township and the facility owner to ensure the requirements within the section are met within 12 months of the date at which the facility ceases to operate as a data center accessory use or disaster recovery facility. So an agreement has to be in place according to the criteria here.
If that agreement includes an escrow account, that's great.
Well, I think we're getting into some detail
Yeah,
that we
right.
don't need to, but I just would like to say that, whether it's a data center or a warehouse, we have to keep in mind the impact on the watershed. Because warehouses require a tremendous drainage issue when you consider the acreage that some of these things take up. So where's that water gonna go? We have to be concerned. It all goes to Delaware eventually, we know that. So that's our main job, as I see it, is to protect the watershed.
Just a point of information, this is an evolving technology, and the latest I read on it is that recirculating oil or some sort of fluid, maybe it's sort of like air conditioners, will be recirculated rather than using water. So that the whole, what's happening both because of technology here and also what's happened in China with what's in a deep something that whatever they're doing is the data centers can be smaller and they can operate without using up fresh water. So it's evolving.
Well,
We're at the first stage right now.
all right, well, I think your motion was we're gonna reconsider this at the next meeting, so I think we're talking about some important details here, but I think we should wait until we have a full panel.
The last thing I just will comment on, the only comprehensive plan that we have in effect that is published, even though it's well out of date, has a key point from the development work that was done on it. That one of our primary considerations would be to maintain the rural character of this township.
That's a good point.
And that applies to both warehouses and data centers.
Well, it's mentioned here in page 8, water and sewer.
Yeah. On page 8, as James said, there's a bunch of criteria as it relates to water and sewer.
Right.
Especially if there's no central water, there's quite a bit of criteria. Now, central water simplifies things. If you're proposing a data center under this new code.
Somewhere along the way,
And you can see that in, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, you can see that in 3B on page 8. If the use is to rely upon non-public sources of water, then it goes on and lists a bunch of criteria. And the reason for that is because, drawing large volumes of groundwater has significant consequences on the surrounding lands.
somewhere along the way, we're gonna see a data center of some kind. Because these data centers are going to take up a lot of the paperwork and that are produced by the municipality, are produced by the schools, are produced by businesses. And they'll be handling all of that paperwork, all that digitally without human intervention.
Well,
And it's got positive points because you're gonna have employment in through the data centers and you may not have people actually. If you know, there's a big fiasco with paperwork in Washington, where they have a big mountain where it takes 6 months to hand work somebody's record to retire them, when they can do it in a matter of minutes.
well, it remains to be seen what purpose of Smithfield Township they said they might do with the letter. We'll have to wait to see until next week when we resume discussion. Okay?
So we have to vote on the motion.
Yes,
The motion to basically, we get some wording here.
Do you wanna table it until, I think the next meeting is the 19th?
we'll table it. I'll make a motion. We table the data.
Center
Center
ordinance
ordinance.
update until the next meeting.
That would be August 19th.
We're better prepared to discuss it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, next item on new business, B, Paul picked up the Poconos. Alex?
Vote on the tabling?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, we didn't vote. I'm out of practice doing this.
Aye.
You're doing very
Aye.
well.
You're doing great.
Alright. Okay, we all agreed on the motion, so the next item, B. Paul pick up the Poconos. Alex, what do you have to say about that? You know,
Actually,
anybody?
was hoping the EAC would take lead on something like we have a spring pickup the Poconos we'd like to do in the fall. I've heard recommendations on doing it up near the East Strasburg Reservoir along that road there, like Fawn Road. Apparently there's quite a bit up there, but basically the EAC could kind of put it out there at their meetings and try to get volunteers from the public, and then members of the EAC,
We all
myself,
have
and
to be
we
there.
would go up there for, on a Saturday, maybe at like 1 PM sometime in October, when it's a little cooler, and we just spend a few hours just, helping out a little bit.
As Alex mentioned, one of the areas I think we should target more than we have is Fawn Road. And Gary Schwartz is here, who lives there, and was telling me, and probably Alex, about the amount of trash that's along that road. I think we should really focus on that. Now, another one I think is Mount Nebo Drive,
Tell me about it.
which has become a repository, I think, for every old toilet that's taken out of a house around there. People just
Any
throw
tires?
tires, they throw them down the cliff.
I think we got the tires up Pond Road.
It's kind of a museum of appliances and toilets and tires, probably for the last 50 years. Time to clean it up.
Yeah, there's a big pile near the power lines over there.
Right.
It's
And with Mount Nebo and maybe with Fawn, we probably need some help. Either with a road crew, somebody, because a lot of that stuff just has to be hauled up. Maybe
It needs to be
changed.
trucked out. There's enough to truck out of
Yeah.
there. So
So
that's a good idea.
So are you proposing that Smithfield Township, we're gonna have a crew from Smithfield Township to lend a hand to?
I would hope so.
Because if you're talking about that area between, where you have the suicide curve,
Right,
and
exactly.
then up until
Right.
you get to, Resort Lane. That area there,
That area.
yeah, you need a road crew to,
And I'm
Direct traffic.
sorry, Joe. It means we'll probably remove that wonderful old sofa that I've seen you sitting on something. That you.
when I first off my deck. No, I didn't.
So it sounds like the group's in favor of this. I was hoping to potentially do it like either October 11th or the 18th, that's a Saturday, maybe start at like 1 PM.
Can we check, do we get a sense on the weather
Yeah,
before we commit to a date so that we know it's not gonna be a rainy day or the probability of it's
how
not gonna be
about
a rainy day?
schedule the early date and the second date is
The rain
is a
date.
rainy day, rain date.
And is like 1 PM, do you think that's good, or you want to maybe do 11 AM, but then it interferes with lunch? That time of year, it can be a little chilly, so that's why I figured 1 PM might be
Yeah,
ideal.
11, I think 11 AM.
But
Excuse me, are you gonna try to do both places?
I think for now, we'll have to explore that, take a look and see which one's safer for pedestrians. That would be our primary.
Probably Pond Road,
Okay.
probably gonna
We'll
be.
give you notice.
Well, you're probably going to should have a flag person or something.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we do, that's what I mentioned, we need a road crew for safety. So they don't, they don't do a Space Race 2000.
well, I don't know, do we need a formal motion just to approve this?
We need a motion, I make a motion that we are going to do a cleanup, either Thorn Road or Mount Nebo, depending on,
Why not both?
because they have to
With
be.
Fawn Road.
Then we'd have to stretch personnel.
But we're
around.
gonna make a motion that we're gonna do a cleanup on Fawn Road first, okay? And then Mount Nebo second.
Now, Nebo will be a bigger job, we need a truck.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah, you need a,
You're
probably
gonna
need
need
a
a truck
backhoe too.
Pond Road too.
Probably need a backhoe to get that soap around.
Okay, all right, the motion's been made, is there a second?
Robert second.
Okay. Aye. Anyone else? Okay.
I
Oh, wait, the motion's been passed, so what do you wanna do?
didn't vote on.
Oh, you didn't, I'm sorry, you didn't.
It's
All right, let's keep talking.
It's been seconded, so now we can discuss it. How are we, if the EAC is gonna sponsor it, which is what I think Alex is proposing. Okay, how are we gonna do this? Who's gonna coordinate all of the individual activities? Who's gonna reach out to volunteers? Who's going to get the township
I make,
truck?
I'm making the motion that Ken, who's our chairperson at this moment, could take care of that.
Yeah, and I'm happy to, as staff, to help
All right,
significantly in the administration of coordinating the event. So as long as we're all on the same page.
I'll try to be kind of a spokesperson, I'll give you a call, and we can talk about it a little bit, okay? Yeah, I'm retired, I have time some time to kill, not forever, but.
And I'm happy to help.
Oh, you would? Oh,
If I
co-chair.
No,
Okay.
well, you know me, I like committees. I like a committee chair
Yeah,
from here that then has the option to put together a committee
okay.
to do the work. And I'm happy to work on the committee if you're gonna be the chair.
It's like the A team, I love it when.
All right, fine, we'll do it that way, so the three of us will be in touch soon.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's a good deal.
We may even have some.
So we
fun.
have
Now vote.
majority?
Yeah, all right, we're all on board here?
Yes. You
All
now.
right, okay, great. All right,
Excuse me, how many members voted?
well, all of us, it's
All
unanimous.
of us, three?
Or
Four.
Four is a majority of the seven.
I didn't see Robert vote.
He voted,
Oh, you did, okay.
yeah.
Robert, you want
Forgive
to
me.
recast your vote in a more obvious fashion?
No. No.
Well, you
All right.
you still have it still passes.
It does. All right, I think we're ready to move on to item C on new business. Hikes with the Environmental Advisory Council. I have no idea what's involved with that. So Alex, take it, I guess.
Could it be a bike ride instead of a hike?
I don't know.
User choice.
We
There
could
was,
be,
there was a possibility that the Environmental Advisory Council could lead maybe once quarterly hikes in an educational fashion in the general vicinity of Smithfield Township. So that maybe on like a Saturday or Sunday at a reasonable hour, our group could, put it out there and members of the public can join us if we can take a hike at like Mount Nebo or Resica Falls or Mount Mincy or one of the areas that have like a 2 or 4 mile loop.
Quick question, Dr. Jackson, aren't you, specialize in some kind of environmental,
I am a naturalist, so I know a decent amount about the Poconos, so I'm happy to help provide interpretive education during such a hike if the group would like to do this. But it's a team effort. It wouldn't just be me, it'd be like, Eric, Mitch, and anybody can join and yeah, it's meant to be a fun experience, but also educational in nature. And we wouldn't have it every single month,
and
but
people who participate can also,
yeah. That would be great if we could have a member of the public who also is passionate about the environment, knows and would like to,
I'm healthy enough again and I could start hiking around. I think it's a great idea.
and when do you think you're suggesting this should happen?
probably sometime
Before Thanksgiving? Is that what-
for sure. We'll have at least
Fall.
one. We'll have one before Thanksgiving. I have,
First
if
one, right?
your favorite, I'd have to take a look at. So we have a couple of events in October. We have the. We'll figure it out, but either
Here's an
way,
invitation.
Yeah.
Once in a while, on whim, Lynn Schwartz, Ken and I go through Mount Nebo Park. It's a lovely hike. It's about 2 miles. We usually do, if we can, both trails. We take trail markers with us, so we put up a new trail markers when they have fallen off or been ripped off. We make notes of what trees are down over the pathways so that we can have those trimmed. And we discuss anything, money, politics, whatever we want. It's kind of nice, but we'll invite anybody along who wants to come. It's a nice hike.
Absolutely. You know, if it weren't for those hikes, I wouldn't be here now, believe it or not. So it's important.
Maybe we can try something at the end of September.
Yeah, and the winter seemed to be getting louder. We might even be able to continue some of this even through the winter months. So, all right, so we need a motion for any of this or not?
It would probably be good to
All right.
have a motion
Well,
to establish this program.
as chair, I'm allowed to make a motion, so I move that we move forward with this in some systematic way. I'm not sure quite how to word this, but what do you think?
Schedule a hike at the end of
Yeah,
September.
schedule, okay, we can make it very specific. Let's schedule a trial hike at the sometime in September.
Okay.
Mount Eagle Park is at the,
Good.
I'd like to go someplace that I don't normally hike, like I like, is it? What's the ridge over here?
Mount Mincy.
Kittatinny?
No, the one that's hard to get to, where you go way down and,
Jeffries,
Jeff,
Oh, Joffrey Street.
yeah.
That's not all, but there is public property there and there's private property. I'm trying to think how many miles it is on the public property. Probably, yeah, that could work. It's probably around 2.5 miles. It's partially in our township. You park over at Glen Park and then go down to the end of the path and walk.
My point is just, I would rather do an area that we don't normally do.
Well, that would be fine, except that if we want
It's
to
a good
get,
idea.
if we want to get Smithfield residents involved, though, we don't want to make the hike too far away. We want to make it accessible to Smithfield residents. So-
Excuse me, I got quite a large tract of property and I might be willing to let somebody hike that. There's already trails there. And then maybe you people might become more familiar with Fawn Road. Because it doesn't seem like many of you are.
I'm not.
Well, and you should if you're on the board of the EAC
Sure.
in Smithfield Township,
It's a great
Monroe
place,
County,
familiar.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Well, there, with private property, I'm not sure about this. There might be a liability issue. We
There
might
could
have to
be.
look into that. So,
Yeah, we can look at that.
okay. So at this point, we're looking at hike on public property at this point.
At the
I'm
end.
pretty sure we're gonna
Well, I'm
learn,
not sure I would offer it either, so.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna learn about Fawn Road when we go clean it up.
Exactly. So that'll be an opportunity for the
Yeah.
public to see what's going on up there.
Yep.
Okay? All right, so we,
Behind, that's the one
Somebody
by,
want a second?
yeah,
I can't, we have two people talking at once.
Does somebody want a second Ken's motion?
Sorry.
I second the motion.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion, unless there is further discussion?
Aye.
All right, all in, the motion was approved unanimously,
And,
not anonymously, but unanimously, so now. Okay, now, time for item number 8, council member comments. Any of us have anything more to say tonight?
I'd like to make a comment, about something that Alex and I were discussing, recently, which is that Stroud Township is in the process of, or has just passed, a height revision ordinance for apartment houses in the township. I'm sorry, the borough. Is it Stroud or East? Yes, Stroud, I'm sorry, it's the township. And, it brings up the question of whether we should be looking at something like this too. I think all three supervisors are committed to the idea of preserving open space, but forcing new development into density areas rather than spreading it out all over, which is another way of saying how you preserve open space. And our height limit now, I think, is about 45 feet. So
I'd have to look at it.
anyway, it's a really 3 stories. And the question is whether we should increase it to 4 stories or higher, because for a builder, building up to 4 stories or 5 stories is a much more economical way of constructing than building out 3 stories, 3 stories, 3 stories. And there are questions with it. First of all, how it affects residential neighborhoods that are single family houses that are just 2 stories. The other is how it affects the fire department being able to service buildings like this. But beyond that, it's just a question of what do we want here? Because we have a certain amount of population pressure. And it seems that anything that goes towards density housing is good for us because it preserves the rest of what's here. So I throw that out as an open question, and I think it's something maybe we should discuss in the next meeting. And it's just a discussion, but it's at least opening the door. And I think this is the proper body to do this. It's about the environment.
Would you like to make a motion to add that to the next agenda?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know that you need to make a motion.
Oh, okay, fine, and
But
we can do it.
density is an interesting topic from an environmental standpoint.
The housing density issue, if you want to label it,
Yeah.
something like that.
I make a motion.
What do you mean by density? Are you talking about moving structures like this into a particular area? Or are you talking about increasing the size of buildings in the R1s?
No, I think it's moving it to a certain area, which is probably some adjunct of maybe
Commercial?
of the ED zone or something.
Yeah,
Right now, the ED zone has to be commercial on the first floor. Doesn't say what, it can be residential above that, but that's only 2 floors of residential. Well, maybe it should be 3 floors or 3 floors or 4 floors. It's just what we want, where it should go and what the rules are. We're also talking about in the ED zone, giving some relief to builders who build a certain amount of their units that are available either for lower than whatever the median rent is, the median income, I should say, in the county, and also people who are disabled. So all of these are questions where we can modify things, and I would say it's only going to be in the ED's commercial zone. Other than that, we're an area of single family homes and maybe townhouses, whatever. I mean, but we need to restrict it to an area where we can say, okay, we're providing housing, but we're keeping this as open space over here.
in the
I think that
209,
needs a lot of.
209, 447.
Well, that would probably be where the corridors are.
Right, because you're talking about the environmental issues, it's sewage, water, and
The environmental,
American, is it American water run through 209 would be more.
the American Water goes all the way up Milford Road. And it will go further and further up 7 Bridges 209 Road. So those are the places where we're probably gonna see pressure towards density, and that's where, let's say, it should be. It shouldn't be in areas that are pristine or R1 or anything like
I
that.
think that's it's a
Well,
good,
I think that's a good item for the next meeting.
So I'm just saying a topic of discussion. I can make a motion that we put it on the agenda to discuss. But this is the first time we talked about anything like this.
Okay, well, I think we'll just,
we should have a discussion next
And I think it's appropriate for the EAC to do it. I mean,
I think we all agree with that, Robert. Let's just wait till next week to.
well, but remember, we have a planning commission, but the planning commission should deal with things that are in plan. We're really a conceptual organization.
Exactly,
Where are we going from
yeah.
here?
You get no argument from me, and I don't think anyone else here.
So I'll make a motion, we just put it on the agenda as a discussion item.
Okay, I consider it done. Wouldn't you say, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Now it's time for public comment. Anyone out there have something to
Well,
say
we're on
briefly?
council member comments.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought, sorry.
Because I have an item to talk about. One of the things that we do is we send recommendations to the supervisors. We don't always get feedback from the supervisors as to what happens with those recommendations, what they think of them. And, you know, we have some that we just sent and we don't know if they're approved or not
I
approved.
can comment on that. So the reason that wasn't discussed is because Pat nor myself were at the last supervisor meeting, so there's no one to sort of present it to the board. So just to clarify, that's why you haven't gotten a response
That's
yet.
okay. That's
It will be forthcoming. Potentially at the 26th meeting.
right, but I would like to see an agenda item on our normal agenda, which provide for a place. And with Robert sitting here, we have a supervisor on the EAC, he can provide that feedback. As to, okay, we got this recommendation, we think it absolutely sucks and we're not gonna do anything. I mean, I think we deserve that.
Well, I think Robert can easily serve as our liaison to the supervisors. I think that informally, that's one of the things you do. That's why you're on our council,
Right,
isn't it?
and I represent pretty much what the supervisors think and where we're gonna go with something. But look, the whole purpose of this EAC committee is to say, give us ideas, give us suggestions, tell us where we need to work on things. So that's what we're here for.
Okay.
So my suggestion is to just add an item to our agenda. Which says feedback from recommendations, so that we have.
You want that as a permanent agenda?
As a
item.
permanent agenda item, that way,
That makes sense.
each meeting.
You agree with that, Robert, as
I
supervisor?
think between Alex and me, we can provide that. Absolutely, right?
Great.
Yeah, historically, Pat had the chairperson agenda item where that kind of served for that purpose, but now since things have changed, I think that makes sense to have a standing agenda item for the time being.
And Alex, I think you've done an excellent job keeping us abreast of what the supervisors are up to, whether Robert is available or not, so I'm satisfied.
I have two things.
Okay,
Okay,
Public, oh,
no, we're still on council comments.
yeah.
feedback on the bike path for putting this on the
That's on the 27th, the bike park.
yeah, the bike path.
Yeah, that was, but yeah, I know what you're they're talking about the previous recommendation.
Correct.
Right, we haven't yet presented to supervisors for the discussion Mitch and I just had. Basically because neither me nor Pat were at the last supervisor meeting, there was nobody there to talk to the supervisors about it, so it's gonna be delayed until the 26th. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
No.
Okay.
Can we, now that you brought this issue with density, don't you think that also that should be part of the new map?
Eventually, but first we've got to figure out what we really want. Whither are we going?
Well, you need housing, right? You need some more housing in the area.
Could I?
We're still on,
We're gonna.
we'll get to the public comment shortly.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
I think this is where it starts.
Sometimes we don't.
And this is where ideas should come from, that we can then push the planning commission or push to the supervisors, whatever's appropriate, and talk more about. But this is an idea factory right here.
Okay.
And you can entertain public comment once you're done speaking, then we can take public comment. You don't necessarily have to wait till public comment as well.
Well, I just wanted to finish the discussion.
I agree.
Up here.
We're ready.
Okay, now, public comment, you'd like to come forward to the podium?
Right.
No, not necessary.
Well,
No, I'll speak loudly. I have a long-standing concern. We're talking about more rentals. And we already have a blighted problem of old motels. All over this area here. And, we had one that popped up in the middle of the night, used to be called Boom, and now it's called, Smithfield Short Stay. They're blight, they make our town look terrible. So I just think if you're considering doing more apartments and rentals and so on, I think you need to really study the existing blight that we have here, because it's very bad.
Huh.
Very bad.
I just like, yeah, I do agree with you about the blight. And I know the areas you're speaking of. And it's terrible, and. You know, this is a problem that's grown up over many years. And I hate to say it, I think the only solution is that property values have got to get up to the point where people just buy these derelict or marginal businesses and bulldoze them and put up something that's more appropriate. I don't know what else you do.
But then Milford Short, what do you call it, Smithfield Short Stay has just been resurrected. So I don't think they'll be bulldozing it down anytime soon.
Another thing, just in passing that, I think somehow we have to grapple with is, what kind of businesses, we want to encourage. For instance, I take Frenchy Drive up to 209 almost every day, especially to come here. Well, all of a sudden today, the entire lot, which is probably 3 or 4 acres across the street, has been bulldozed. And I asked one of the supervisors, what's going on there? Somebody's building a self-storage place. Well, to me, it's like, this is, let's say the beginnings of a commercial urban area where they've got sidewalks, they've got Wawa, they've got some interesting businesses, Tractor Supply, and to put a self-storage there, it doesn't belong there, and they admit that, the supervisors, but we don't have any laws that say, okay, you can't do that here, you know, and we need to figure this out in some way so that zoning isn't about, all right, if you're commercial, you can build anything. It has to be refined more than we have it now,
Isn't that an R1 zone?
huh?
Is that an R1 zone?
I assume it's a commercial zone, it's right along 209,
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
but it's just, it's such
That's
a
in
waste.
Milford,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
So, and another thing. Well, you got me on the subject. Across from Price Chopper there, this is all in Middle Smithfield. There's the old Four Seasons Diner. Know that place?
Yeah.
It's been closed for years. And it sits there because the owner wants an enormous amount of money to sell it. Well, maybe we should have laws that say that if you have a derelict building that's not being used in a commercial zone, your taxes keep going up on it as an incentive to sell it because it should be developed as something.
But we have our own problems here. We have the.
I'm just pointing this out because everybody has these problems that, zoning laws that go back 50 years, which we keep trying to revise, still aren't up to what we really need to develop what we want in the way we want it. And that long and extended stay motel you're talking about, it's a good example. Like, we don't want that there, and it's there. And we can't do much about it under current zoning laws, but these are things that over years we have to work on.
That's why I'm afraid to add 4-story rental units on top of the blight that we are. I think we need to clean up what we have first. And got rental units, that's sort of like, woo, rental.
Well, if I may comment, this body is not in the business of enforcing zoning laws. So the zoning laws, excuse me, what Robert is saying is that zoning laws need to be constantly revised because they go out of date so quickly, it seems.
You're only getting my rant, and Doug knows this as well as I do, on the frustrations of why isn't it better? And it's a process, that's all I can say.
We don't have a master plan.
The gentleman here would like to speak.
Just a comment on what you're saying, it is in Middle Smithfield Township, but Texas is actually going through this right now with a partially condemned mall that it was brought to the Senate. And there is a particular senator who is forcing the owner of the mall to either fix it or demolish it. So maybe a senator, congressman, someone who sits a little higher than this board, force them to maintain the property and clean it up or sell it Okay, that's a quick fix. There's nothing here we can say or do about it.
The only problem with that is who makes the judgment? When is it derelict? You know,
There's no ordinance against how you maintain your property in the township either.
Well.
But you're on the right
Dog
track.
parlor at the entrance to Valhalla, which said, how long has that been there?
If we wanna get particular about things, just
Woo.
go over here on Franklin Hill at the end by, 209. You got two garages. There's gotta be 100 cars there.
Right.
They're all for repair. I was there today and said, what are all these cars for? They're for repair.
Yeah.
It's a disgusting thing to look at. Some of them are in pieces. Some of them I don't think ran in 10 years. But again, the township has allowed them to let their property look and be maintained that way.
Well,
So until there's an ordinance on the way you maintain your property, there's really nothing that anyone can do.
I can
All
tell
right,
you,
the gentleman over there would like to speak.
those two garages, the township is only reluctantly allowed them to do that. We feel the same way.
But again, it's an ordinance, it's not in place.
Sir, did you have a comment?
Yes. As a charter member of the first EAC in Smithfield Township, it's nice to see that it has continued. First comment. I don't recognize hardly anybody here. I recognize Mr. Levenheim. Alex, I'm not sure is the last name. I just met him recently. Doug and his wife. I don't know these people or this gentleman, but I'm glad to see there are at least a few concerned citizens in Smithfield Township. There was a lot of things that the EAC was first recommended to do. One of the first things that I was really pissed off about that they didn't take up stronger was the agricultural aspect. I had a farm on Gapview Drive over here who I sold to the fellow that sits in that chair that isn't here tonight. He had a CSA. A CSA is a community supported agriculture. People can do their homework on what that actually means if anybody's interested in local sustainability. I think we all can agree that food is necessary for all of us humans and good quality. I don't know what anybody really eats here. It's none of my business or really my concern. But it is my concern of keeping this township rural as much as it can be, because the way it is now, from being here and brought up and raised here, to me, it's a cesspool. And I'm trying to get out of here for at least half a year because I beat myself up too bad growing organic food for the citizens of Monroe County, Pennsylvania. So I congratulate you all for continuing it, and I may or may not get more involved in stewarding this group.
Would you like to submit a letter
For what?
to be added to the county?
I don't think I have time at this point, but I'll probably drop in now and then.
Okay, sounds good, sir. Thank you.
We
very much.
always want to see you.
Comments.
Yes, and by the way, the EAC was discontinued for a long time. We've been revived. We haven't been.
Yes, I was drafted by the Barrett crew,
What is your name again, sir?
Gary Swords.
Oh, nice to see you. Nice
Likewise.
to meet you. All right. Any other comment from the public tonight?
No, you go right ahead.
All right. Mike Ivacini, I've got a 8-comment list and I'm gonna go through it in under a minute. Just running through the meeting, I think making the ordinance complaint forms accessible, great idea, gotta meet people where they're at, so I commend that. Just an idea brainstorming wise, I don't know if we've considered a liaison for some of the ordinance disputes. Maybe that's what the zoning officer is now attempting to work through, so I think that's also something to consider. Usually the ordinance disputes are between neighbors. You can usually work things out between neighbors in good faith. I appreciate the data center conversation. That's a national conversation. As we mentioned with China, that's a global conversation. So I appreciate hearing that being discussed here. this evening. I agree it's an evolving technology, so it's something to just keep our eyes on as it moves forward. I also agree with the fall cleanup. I think having a road crew just for safety, especially if you're looking for volunteer recruitment, being able to say we have a safe means of pulling this off would be a good idea. The idea of the hikes, I also commend. I just brought the idea of there's an idea of having the hikes within Smithfield Township. I think there's also, if there's enough interest, hikes in local communities as well. We've got the Monroe County Conservation Center that has trails. There's also neighboring counties like Pike County with Lake Walpolpack. They have an environmental center that's very nice. So just throwing out ideas in terms of, pending
Great
interest.
idea, because they're always looking for ways to do hikes.
Sure,
People run.
and communities supporting other communities and local counties, exactly. Alex, congratulations on ordinance 256. I saw that posted. I thought it was very interesting to read through. The housing density conversation as well, also very interesting. To summarize it, the way I heard that and the way I've heard it in Philadelphia is essentially the conversation of building up versus building out. And that definitely has an environmental component to be discussed. And lastly, I just wanted to comment on your public comment. I think the idea of stewardship, I just, that word sticks with me a lot as somebody with one foot in a couple different generations. I'm in my 30s now, but I've grown up with my grandparents and people who have lived here their whole lives. So stewardship, I think, is a good theme for the council to have. So 8 comments in under a minute. I don't know if it was timed or not.
Well done, sir.
Yeah,
You-
thank
You
you.
were next.
Okay, again, I spoke earlier, but, I believe Alex is the only one who knows me. I'm Todd Daly. We have a farm right down from you, right behind the canoe
What's
play.
your first name?
Todd Daly.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
I see trees planted when I came through.
Yes, we put a
Nice.
small orchard in.
I congratulate you.
We're talking about complaint forms, and you guys have been sitting here. I've only recently moved back to the township. But if you go to the secretary, she'll give you a complaint form. They have them right at the secretary.
You can
She has
get,
every form you need.
you can get it all online too,
Correct.
on our
Correct.
website.
But the secretary, you can come pop in here and say, I want a building permit, I want this, any permit you want, that secretary can give it to you. Back to your rental. Thing that you've tabled and you're gonna talk about later on. The EAC is about conserving the environment, protecting the environment, right?
I would say it's even more, it's everything about.
Everything about
what
the
is
environment.
Gonna be our environment, right?
Yeah, so, I would suggest that if you're on this committee or wanna be on this committee, you wanna be for open spaces. The less we have, the better we are. We don't have people moving in that we don't want here. We learned that back in the 80s when Salt Creek went in. Fernwood, we learned that. But apparently we have not learned that from this discussion I've overheard today. And I've heard no one speak about our waterways. There's trees in our waterway all over the place. Go down Seven Bridge Road. Look at Marshall Creek. It's loaded with trees. I pulled 15 out of my own section of waterway last year. I have 2 more to pull up that just fell down. Go down here in the park. They're in a waterfall. Okay, we're backing up water that we don't need to back up. We're not looking into the big picture. We're looking into smaller things. And yes, we can fix smaller things quicker. But if we're not looking into our own waterways, protecting the open spaces that we have, we're just gonna become another metropolitan. And is that what we all want here?
You're bringing up a great point, because if you look at big cities where they have nothing but flooding, it's because they no longer maintain their sewer system. So you're correct. This is something that needs to be looked at and addressed. And I'm glad you brought it up so that we can add this to our agenda somewhere along the way, because that is a big issue.
And as a township, the township does not have the manpower or the resources to do that amongst the other jobs they're doing. I watched them periodically over on River Road. They replaced underground drains. They had finished it. 3 days later, we had a downpour for like a half hour. At the bottom of the hill, there was still a lake. So we spent money and time and energy and we fixed nothing.
Can't beat Mother Nature.
The only thing I can say,
No, but it's literally, it's in a bad spot, and
But we can control our environment, so.
I know, but I'm talking about for the environment. We're wasting resources on things we shouldn't even be doing. When we do drains, let's hire somebody, let's get a bid. Someone who does this for a
Need
living,
a professional.
professionals. Our township guys are limited in their resources, in what they can do and how they can do it, and most of them guys have a fair knowledge of what they're doing, but they're not professionals.
Isn't that gonna raise the budget though?
It would.
Isn't
It
that
would.
gonna raise the?
And we have to consider what is more important, what items are important that have to be fixed so we can protect the environment, protect our waterways, protect our open spaces.
Well, I think this is a big, it potentially is a big issue. And it seems that action would have to be taken more by the supervisors than by this body, because it involves physical work that will take manpower and money to fix. If we know how
We can
severe
make
it is.
recommendations.
Well, that's as far as we can go. This body has no power. It only has the power to recommend, and that's it.
Well, one thing that was said was clean up the waterways. I mean, if we clean up the roads,
Do we have, is there an ordinance,
the
is there an
water.
ordinance that addresses?
These are complex.
That's
So
what I'm
these are,
saying.
these are something that we
Conversations that
can,
require
is there something that we can
watershed
look at
education.
as part of the watershed,
These are complex issues that require watershed education. It's not as, it may not be so simple. There's a lot of variables when you start talking about waterways, especially. So, it would require a 45-minute discussion on, leaf litter and wood
is it something
material
that's
and
more involved with the county?
It would probably be, I would start with the Environmental Education Center and see if they could provide information on, the value of having woody material increase and why it's complex. It's not as simple as you might think in terms of just, let's just, it's
Not like
very
cleaning a
complex.
sewer, no.
Sewer is different story. If you go to the sewer authority meetings, they're 1 PM on the second Monday of every month. They talk all about maintaining the sewer. They're very efficient at maintaining their sewer system. So that's a great meeting to go to. If anyone wants to learn about how the central sewer is being maintained at the township. And if there's any questions about on-lot sewer, this SEO is a good resource. And we had them come last year. All I'm trying to say is I agree with what you're saying. It's just that it's a 35-minute educational conversation we have to have on them, and I'm certainly willing to do that.
Alex and I attended a seminar at the Conservation District, what was it, last year? It was fascinating. I mean, it went on for maybe a couple of hours, but I'm sure the same people could give a shorter presentation here, which is all about drainage, stormwater, maintaining wetlands, maintaining
But
forest.
if there are properties that are on the edges of the creeks. Aren't they, and we looked to see about people who maintain their properties to ensure that
No,
something, no? You don't like that idea because.
well, I have a lot of creek property right on the edge of our property up there on Pond Road. It's actually the East Stroudsburg Borough Waterworks for the town of East Stroudsburg.
Right,
And that creek had so many blowdowns and stuff in it.
And it doesn't help that we had, all the ash trees die,
Yeah,
and now our hemlocks are being attacked.
well, that's been going on.
that's what those lantern flies.
Well, now we're getting to a plethora of different
Yeah,
environmental
exactly.
issues. I really think we.
I only brought it up because we're here to speak about the environment.
Well, I think it
Which,
was,
I mean, it's gonna bring in a whole nest egg, and you're gonna have DEP and everybody else here
We're
listening or talking to them.
trying to move in an environmentally safe direction.
well, I think there's a lot that can be discussed in the future about this. I think, we should probably let this go at this point, because we just get all over the place if we keep this up.
That's a great idea.
So, any other comments from the public before we adjourn?
I have one more one. It's a comment regarding events that the EAC might possibly wanna sponsor. Like, public, environmental, things that could go on in a room like this, I don't know.
We have some ideas already floating about that.
Like
Education.
having like environmental, possibly movies. I would like to suggest to everybody if they wanna look at the geoengineeringwatch.org and watch the movie The Dimming.
I'll make it a movie.
Could you tell us, if you don't mind, more details about the dimming?
Watch it,
Okay, just.
All right, just Google it, huh?
watch it, and then
What's it on?
the environment.
No. Is it something you stream like on Paramount or something?
Pardon me?
The movie,
How do you find the movie?
how do you find it?
Geoengineeringwatch.org,
So it's a website.
capital W on the watch. Yes, it's a website.
It's probably a YouTube.
It's a very interesting fellow that's put it out. And you wanna go to The Dimming. Yeah, so that's the name of the movie I'm suggesting.
Okay,
All right, thank
Or is
you.
it a documentary? A movie or a documentary?
I don't know, I know the difference.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, any other comment from the public today? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
thank you.